Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Tonight we head to the home of kudzu and red clay. Taking only 6 months to excavate, grade, and pave back in 1970, tonight's venue has served as the end-of-season home of sports car racing in America with Petit Le Mans for the past 25 years. Just this past weekend, as a matter of fact. Combining flow and fear and a little bit of faith, drivers are challenged by its blind corners and decreasing radius downhill S's, while the end of its long, draftable back straight challenges you to outbrake your competitor, and on that final foreboding downhill drop to the finish line. It's iconic American road course. It's Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Welcome to round number 4 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech miniMite Sports Car Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsberg along with Larry Lefty McLeod for tonight's twin 35-minute battles. And thankfully, we've got Jonathan Grabowski in the virtual production trailer, and he's going to be bringing you all the best camera angles and action that Apex Racing TV is known for. And so good evening, Larry, and welcome to Brazelton for yet another round of GT4 and LMP3 racing.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch 30 cars go up through turn 2 and turn 3 tonight on the first lap. This is going to be a lot of fun.
And see if they come down the
chaotic
afterwards.
We're all going to be holding our breath. But no, it's getting exciting. We're getting pretty close now to the halfway point of the season. Nothing is decided. We've got points battles up and down. We'll talk about that later. But it's just exciting stuff, I think. And what we also have, what appears to be is static sunshine. This is it. This is as bright as it's going to get for the next couple hours. So sit in. Hopefully you've got your morning coffee. You're going to need a lot of it because it's going to be morning all night. It's
going to be morning all night. Exactly. It's approximately 7:10 a.m. Larry in Atlanta and Brazelton, Georgia, and much like Groundhog Day, it's never going to change. All right, tell you what, Larry, is we've got our drivers out on track, and we'll talk about qualifying here in just a few moments as we give all of our drivers 15 minutes to set their fastest laps. We give them 4 flying laps in order to do it. We have a guest with us already sitting in the waiting room. It's Ricmotech's own Florida man, Larry. It's Andre Wedderburn from Mall Speed Racing.
All right, Andre, you've joined us here pre-race. Welcome. Are you ready for what has been a chaotic series so far? You think we're going to see more chaos starting tonight?
Oh, most likely, but it's going to be a fun race either which way.
Yeah, we're expecting that. We were just commenting on the perpetual sunrise that we're going to see. Is this a bit unusual to have no weather conditions over the next couple of hours for this race?
It's going to be different, but I like it. I like this time of day. Definitely, this track seems to be a lot faster right now too.
Yeah, it should make for a very interesting evening. So you've got yourself qualified. Looks like what about sixth right now in the AM group there. You end up. You looks like you're gonna be right in the middle of the pack again. Is this something you're getting comfortable with? Is traveling in the packs in these races?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've been getting used to. The virtual thing is kind of different for me, but it's fun. It's a new thing, and trying to get comfortable with it.
Yeah, we were told that maybe you've done some real world racing. So what have you dabbled in?
Quite a bit. Raced personally in SCCA regional national stuff, and then have done some crew work engineering, all the way from like I said, the SCCA regional levels, nationals, from runoffs, all at Fall Challenge, IMSA. I ran a 2-car team in the GS class here a long time ago, so quite a bit.
Yeah, so very familiar with the racing circuit. But so what kind of cars would you have been driving in some of the club racing that you've done, and how different does that feel then to getting in this sim environment?
Again, quite a few cars. Porsche Cup car. My father and I run a Weaver GT1 car, and I also ran a Chevy Cobalt in the touring class. So quite a bit different than the virtual world. Definitely not as much feeling in the wheel here.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems that's always the difficulty in transitioning to sim is you don't have that seat of the pants feel anymore. Um, do, are you one of the guys that maybe could use some of this experience in this and go back to real world racing and feel like it benefited you?
Most definitely. That's kind of why I got the sim in the first place, through COVID and just trying to kick around and actually trying to get back into motorsports. So my father and I both got sims at the same time, and just been using that to kind of get dialed in. And we're here going to be getting back on the track here probably by the end of this year. We're targeting.
Great.
Yeah. Do you still work with the race teams these days, or is that in the past now?
No, I like to say I retired from professional motorsports. I'm an engineer. I build control systems for wastewater treatment plants and drawbridges now.
Oh, very cool. And any big projects you're working on now? Any big thing that we could be looking for coming up, like a big bridge in Baltimore or something like that?
Yeah, actually, a big bridge, a big flagship project for the Florida Department of Transportation down here in Jupiter, Florida, the Jupiter Federal Drawbridge. It's a big project that they're doing We're doing the control system for that bridge.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's way cooler than anything I ever get to work on. So I'm really jealous getting to work on really neat industrial sized projects like that. Very cool. So I guess we're getting to the front half of the season here is coming up. I know you're in a bit of a points battle this season. In a race like this, or the pair of races tonight, do you try and keep an eye on who you're racing with and where your points competitors are in each race?
Not really. I'm just trying to keep it clean. Trying to finish each race as high as I can. I kind of do know and end up racing the same few people every week. But like I said, just trying to keep it clean and finish a race. And, to finish first you must finish.
Absolutely true. It's the most truest thing there is. So no, this is great. Really appreciate you able to join us for your pre-race. Is there anybody you wanted to give a mention, a shout out, or say hello to?
Most definitely. My wife, who's here, making fun of me. My 3 kids, my mom, my dad, who got me into motorsports. You guys for putting on a great show. Yeah, thanks.
Well, appreciate that, and looking forward to seeing the race tonight. Maybe with any luck, we'll get a chance to talk to you at the end of the night. So good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, that is Andre Wedderburn, driver of the number 151 Mall-Speed GT4 AM McLaren. I want to wish him good luck this evening. And so, Larry, we've still got just about a minute left on the clock. Real quick here, we have, I believe, Jim Pfeiffer. Actually, Pfeiffer is now... I'd call it doing a cool down lap right now. He's, I believe, the only driver left on track, but he's completed all 4 of his flying laps, and it looks like he's going to go into this race 5th fastest in LMP3, and I think that's a bit of a probably a bit of a letdown for Jim, as he was our fastest driver in qualifying. And probably not in qualifying, in practice during the week, and was actually lapping at about 0.6 of a second faster than what he was able to put down in qualifying here this evening. So
see him coming to the field.
It back. Yep. So we'll see here, and just very quickly, you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen the breakdown of the 3 different classes. Obviously, much like Mr. Pfeiffer was racing, you can pretty much tell the LMP3 Ligers from the GT4 cars. You will see the GT4 cars in 2 different classes. Our pro racers will have red number boards on their cars, Ricmotech red, and the AM drivers will have green number boards on the sides of their cars. And obviously, you'll see them grouped differently on the left-hand side of your screen. As we've got our racers starting to grid up, Larry, let's go and we'll run down the starting order. Your pole sitter tonight in LMP3 for Aerokinetics is Tyler King, with Bobby Child starting just to his left on the outside of row number 1 in the number 88 car. We'll have to see how things work out at the newly named Bobby Child's turn here at Road Atlanta. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Josh Vidal from Phantom Power Racing will be starting on the inside of row number 2, with Adam Johnson starting in 4th position, with Jim Pfeiffer, as we just talked about, starting on the inside of row number 3. Jake Zito starting in 6th, and Marlon Jones making up row number 7. And if we take a look at our pro GT4 racers, Brian Bennett from Sector 5, he's your pole sitter. He's going to have Travis Schwenke starting to his left, with Leo Dragota from Orion starting next to his teammate Mike Dam. Eric Violette from D2D Sim Racing will start on the inside of row number 3, with Alex Brown starting 4th. Chris Thorman will start 5th, with probably not 5th, he'll start 7th, with Dan Carrido starting in 8th position. And it looks like Jeff Jacobs, he's going to round out the pro field. He's going to start on the next row back next to Lucas Dragota.
Yeah, so the highest qualifier for the AM category is Lucas Dragota from Dragon Sport Racing. He'll be, I believe that's on the inside of row 5. And then, of course, alongside Jeff Jacobs, they're on row 5. On row 6, from Slow Bros Racing, David Klimovich, alongside HTPK Racing's Neil Weston. Following them, you're going to have Eagle Beavers' John Sterling lined up alongside another Slow Bro Racing, Dale Maxwell. Then we've got Andre Wedderburn, just talking, from All Speed Racing, alongside Leo Mora from Eagle Beavers. So 3 Eagle Beaver drivers tonight. Tom Jenkins will be on the next row back from Midfield Motorsports. Tom will be alongside John Casey from Frito Sport. Behind them, Chris Klimovich from the Slow Bros, alongside Brian Steele from SMB Racing. Then we're going to have a Mayforce Racing, Stephen May, and Russ Ruddock from Flying Tortoise Motorsport. Behind them, Steven Stinson, SMB Racing, alongside Greg Brockway from Frito Sports. And then we've got Matt Petipas from SMB and Chad Sebrin from Close Enough Crew.
So it sounds like a rap group there, the Close Enough Crew. Yes. We'll be seeing them at the MTV Video Awards if he puts in a good crash for us tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah. So 33 cars in a not very large track, and a lot of twisty turnies and a lot of tight blind corners. What do you think, Greg? Think we're in for a fun one?
Yes, I think it's a gosh, I'm having trouble finding words tonight, Larry. Like, this is so different from every other week. But it's a recipe for madness. There you go.
It is. And just to note, we've got in the GT4s, we had, I think it was 5 drivers in practice tonight before qualifying on the same 10th. Brian Bennett, Travis Schwenke, Leo Dragota, Mike Dam, Eric Violette were all 24.9 something in practice. Yeah, qualifying might have been a little bit more spread out, but this is going to be a tight field in GT4.
Indeed. So they're all going to get to turn 3 at the exact same time. It'll be wonderful. All right. So as we can see here, Brian Bennett from Sector 5 Racing, he is holding the GT4 racers back a little bit from our LMP3 racers. The LMP3 racers starting to tighten up and grid up. And they will enter the start zone when they come underneath the Fox Factory Bridge towards turn number 12, where our live starter will give the start command. And of course, tonight's race stewards, including our starter, are provided by the SCCA Foundation. The SCCA Foundation provides funding for the SCCA Academy, training the next generation of race workers and volunteers that make real-life road racing events possible. To find out more, visit sccafoundation.org. And they do come underneath that Fox Factory Bridge. Larry, the starter, now has command of the field as Tyler King comes down the hill towards the starter stand, and the green flag is in the air, and we are underway. King getting a great start, moves to the center of the track and across the nose of Bobby Childs. Josh Vidal has got an advantage on Childs as well. He'll slot into second, then the D2D racer, then Jim Pfeiffer, Adam Johnson, and Jake Zito as our GT4 racers now come across the line, and green flag is in the air for them. And Brian Bennett, he's nose up right now on Travis Schwenke, but as they come down under braking, that slight brush of the brake into turn 1, Travis Schwenke is going to keep second place over his teammate Leo Dragotta. Eric Violette from D2D gets around Mike Dam. Of course, there's a big championship battle right now between Violette and Schwenke here in GT4 Pro. Then we've got Chris Thorman, Alex Brown, Dan Carrillo making up your top 8. Jeff Jacobs still slotted in back behind our GT4 AM leader Lucas Dragotta, who is sitting 9th in GT4.
Yeah, good start for Eric Violette to be able to make that one jump at that one spot there. Splitting the Orion teammates, that's a big deal for him to stay in between them and try and stick with these BMWs there while driving his Aston tonight. So good start there so far. Fingers crossed it's been clean, but we haven't gone up the hill yet at full speed. So,
well, that was nice. But Dale Maxwell off track in the number 111 Porsche back towards the rear of the field. Looks like he just maybe dropped the wheel. He's back underway. Lost, I think, he lost 10 positions already.
Well, he survived so far as we get to the front of the LMP3s.
And Josh Vidal, what a move there on Tyler King to take over the lead in LMP3 up at the top of the S's there at turn number 3. Let's take a look, see how it happened.
So it looks like they're coming up to turn 1 up into the hill here to get to 3 at the top of the hill. Look at the nice run there for Vidal off a rough corner there for King. King knows he was beat, lets him in. It's single file down the S's.
Yeah, it looked like King was maybe dealing with a little bit of push coming through turn 1 with the cold tires. Just didn't get a good run up the hill.
Yeah, easily could be. And now on the back straight, looks like Bobby's going to make a little bit of a move here down at a 10. Let's see if he can make it stick. Oh, wow. The King kind of going off to avoid any potential. But look at the run he gets coming back up at him.
It's almost like he was afraid of getting hit by Bobby. I don't understand.
You know? Bobby's like lava right now. You just stay away. Bobby used a little bit of dirt there at the entry of 1. Going to take the outside line. That's bold if he can make it work, and he does. King's got to back off, so King now in 2 laps loses 2 spots. Good run there for Bobby. Let's see how he does through the corner named after him. He's down the hill, and this left-hander right here.
Up through turn 5.
Child's corner. Clean this time through. Is allowing Jim Pfeiffer to move up a couple spots and now stick in behind these guys.
And by the way, it's his own teammates that have effectually
we
named turn 5 as Bobby's corner.
It's one of his teammates that shall remain nameless, but his name might be a color name. I'm just saying, I don't want to say the actual name of the person that might have called him out.
Purple rain.
All right, back to this little grouping here. Klim Club going crazy. It's David Klimovich in a good little battle here. Jeff Jacobs in front of him. Neil Weston behind. Big train. Look at this.
All right, Larry, let's jump up to the front of the pack and take a look at the battle for the lead in Pro, where, wow, maybe a little bit of contact there as Leo Dragota tried to come underneath his teammate, Travis Schwenke, coming out of turn 7, what is perhaps the most critical corner on this course, and, you know, leads you into this heavy braking zone down at the bottom of the hill, down at 10A. And
yeah,
you can see there where
wouldn't have
Dragota
expected to
actually,
see. Yeah, wouldn't have expected to see any contact between the teammates. You think they would at least stay off of each other, but Leo a little aggressive early on. So as we're on board with the Purple Rain Man himself, Eric Violet here, as he's right in the middle of this trio of Orions, staying ahead of Mike Dam. This is where strategy comes into play. We've seen this play out with these guys before and how they try to use. Oh, look at this! The leader's off.
Oh no! Oh no! As Bennett goes through the grass,
Yep,
as
comes
they
right
come
back
up
on.
the hill out of turn 1, and he's going to lose a
Nice
number of
save.
positions. Bennett now dropping down to 4th.
Yeah, nice save here as he goes up the hill. Looks like the front end just kind of washes out. So he's going to start. Driver's left, turns it maybe a hair late, but look at that. It's that curbing, and it just starts to ride all the way out. That's a tough one to recover from.
I mean, he did the right
He's gonna
thing.
end up with
Kept the wheel
Yeah.
straight. Didn't freak out there and let the track come back to him. But obviously,
Does he end up with a
little bit slower.
slowdown he has to serve? Or because the turn 2 often is a course cut if you
Maybe.
stay out there. If he had to serve it, he's already done it because he's in line with him now, not appearing to do any kind of penalty serving.
Yeah,
at this point.
I would think that he probably would have made up most of it coming down the hill.
Well, that benefited this guy right here, Alex Brown, who's now up on the heels of Mike Dam because of the slowdown that Mike had to check up in front of him. So that may have helped Alex a little bit in the Eagle Beaver entry to stay here now with the 3 Orions, of course, the D2D, and then your leader was your
in the
leader.
battle of the Canadians.
Yeah. All the Canadians chasing the field.
And yeah, I was saying for any of you that were, and look at this battle for the lead now in LMP3, Bobby Childs and well, no, this is a battle for second, pardon me,
Yeah.
between Childs and Vidal as they come down the hill. And again, Vidal giving Bobby Childs a little bit of deference there down the hill.
Bobby doing a good job of car placement coming out of there
Yes.
to keep King behind him, but this is helping Josh Vidal out in front.
Yeah, as they're finally,
this is
well, not
where
finally,
it
but
gets
on lap
sketchy.
number 3 or lap number 6, pardon me, coming up on lap traffic here. It's going to start
Yeah.
getting pretty hectic pretty quickly.
Yeah, coming down these S's in a single file, but these LMP3s want to go a lot faster. There's one they're going right now around. I can't even tell who that is. That is the 199 of Chad Sebring, doing his best to let these LMP3s on by, complete with the Halloween livery. I gotta say, that looks pretty cool.
Should note that we've got Stephen May in the pits. Didn't see what happened to the Mayforce car, but it's not something we would expect because we do have twin 35-minute races here tonight. Let's take a look. As he comes down through the S's, we'll see what happens.
A pretty good run to the S's. Oh,
Yeah,
just
until he
kind of
did.
lost it. Yeah. It didn't look like he took too much curb. That car just looked loose. That's a hard hit into the wall there, driver's left. So that's going to put him in the pits for a while.
Well, it looks like he's got the car back out, but unfortunately for him, he is now about he's 3 laps down from the rest of the GT4 field.
Back to the train. Now it's Orion with Travis Schwenke, Leo Dragota, your 1-2. Just ahead of Eric Violet, Mike Dam, and then Brian Bennett now. Dam was able to get around Bennett.
And we mentioned that there was a pretty good battle going on right now between Violet and Schwenke for the lead in GT4 Pro. They are currently separated coming into this evening by only 3 points, Larry.
Oh, that was your leader in LMP3.
Yep, Josh Vidal having obviously some mechanical issues there as he pulls off on the side of the track, coming down the back straight. I wonder what happened here. Did he go and he had contact.
That coming out of 5, that's a big
Wow.
pile up there.
With multiple cars, and Larry, I think that might have been Bobby Childs that was involved with that as well, as Bobby Childs now has dropped back behind Tyler
Well, you
King.
can see.
Yeah. I think that's the D2D car that was also involved. And so Tyler King, your new leader, with Jim Pfeiffer second. Jake Zito just now drives around Bobby Childs, and Childs is taking his car into the pits as well.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Bobby had such a good start, was in a great race there with Tyler King, defending his position well, and now just caught up in some other mayhem on track. And I was going to say who that other GT4 car was that was in all that may have actually started it.
Let's see if we can pick at, I think, one of the SMB Porsches.
That's a big jump.
Is that
there.
the number 7? Yeah, it's the number 7 of Brian Steele. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you see him just go wide, catch all that curbing, and then he's just a passenger, and he's even coming into the pits now for some damage repair as we go back to the front of the field in GT4. Everyone in the chat now feeling the sympathy for Bobby, just getting caught in it.
It did happen at turn 5, though.
It did happen in Child's corner.
Don't put your child in a corner.
Never put your Bobby in the corner.
Puts Bobby in the corner.
All right, we got a good little battle going on here. There's John Sterling right on the heels of Neil Weston in the Porsche. John Sterling with the full Eagle Beaver livery on that Mercedes. It's looking fantastic as we had a chance to talk to his teammate Alex Brown last week about the origins of the Eagle Beaver. If you missed it, you got to go back and listen. No room up the hill, but looks like they're going to have a fast one coming through. Is that Jake Zito coming through? Yeah. Maybe an opportunity here for Sterling to make a move coming out of 5.
He gets a good run, a very good run out of 5, Larry.
Yeah, look at this. Maybe side by side. They get down the hill here to 6.
Coming into the heavily banked turn 6.
Tough place. See if he can stick the outside. Force Weston down the inside of the very tight turn 7. Up and under, maybe?
Yeah, he gets a good run, just maybe not quite good enough. Let's see.
Adam Johnson
no, he's
trying
got
to
it
go
alongside. Uses the draft of the LMP3 car.
That's a good run. Now, we've heard the Porsche top speed's pretty good, but that Mercedes looks pretty strong right here. See if he can be outbroken, or is he going to go in and just win the battle? He's ahead for sure.
There you go. Under braking, picks up the position. So, move.
Nice pass.
Yeah, move Sterling now up to 3rd and AM. Drop Weston back to 4th.
As the Orion leaders are continuing to kind of show each other in the mirrors. I just think that Zergoda either thinks he's faster or he just takes different lines and wants a different look. Leo looks real sharp coming down the S's, though.
Let's see what he does coming through 7 here, Larry. This is where he, early on, it looked like he was trying to get an underneath Schwenke going in, turned in a little bit earlier.
Leo looks, he's hitting his marks really well.
Yeah.
That's solid stuff there. He's confident with the car tonight for sure. He's going to get close enough to be pump drafting as they let one of our LMP3s go by. I think again it was Jake Zito. Oh, see Leo lifting there. Rather than taking his nose poking underneath, decides to just do a little fuel save. That's what's going to make this interesting, is this flock of geese, as you will. Let's see if anybody decides to take the point at all during this first half of the race here. As we get close to the halfway point, I don't know. There's no need for fuel stops here. This is just got to make your pass, or you're going to have to wait for the inversion at the end of the 35-minute. We are doing 2 35-minute sprints.
That's right. And so small change in how we handle the inverts. It had been top half of the LMP3s would get inverted, which was usually about half of the LMP3 field. And then top half of the GT4 is what we're going to be doing this week going forward. And it's primarily due to the high number of GT4 cars, is that the top 10 GT4 racers will be inverted, which right now would provisionally put Jeff Jacobs on pole for race number 2, as he is running 10th out of all of the GT4 racers. Chris Thorman would start right beside him.
Look at Jeff Jacobs here, just in that spot right now, in that 10th, just kind of chilling. Nobody really contesting him at this point. He's got Chris Thorman in front, but it's David Klimovich is the guy behind. I'm sure David would love to get up there in the next 20 minutes and make a fight for that 10th spot.
Yeah, indeed. And so you'll notice if you look at our ticker there on the left-hand side of your screen that, well, he's not on there any longer, but that Jeff Jacobs is running 9th in GT4 Pro. Well, we've got Lucas Dragota, who's our GT4 leader. He's sitting 7th out of all the GT4 racers currently.
Yeah, having a good run here tonight. Here amongst the AMs for sure, able to put a lot of cars between he and
Larry,
his rivals.
And that's Leo Dragota in the 118 car, just went off heading up towards turn 3. He's going to drop a number of positions. He's going to now drop back to 5th.
Yeah, he had been fighting up there with his teammate Schwenke for the lead. Now he's going to be at the back of this train with Bennett just in front of him. Of course, Bennett bobbles there coming out of 5, but seems to recover. Let's catch this replay.
So let's see what happens as they come under braking in the 1. And we notice there that Leo a little bit later turn in.
Inches from hitting the good apex, which would have put him right on the right line, and that cost him. And look at Bennett taking the opportunity.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of hesitation there, and maybe just missed his mark because he was tucked up so close to the back of Schwenke's car.
Yeah, just a hair missed. It didn't take much. Bennett, though, good opportunity to jump in front of him here. Leo going to try something? Nope. Just going to show it, not going to make the move. Now they've got to keep up with Mike Dam in front. I think Leo's thinking that too here. Any fighting with Bennett, they're going to just fade further back. BMW looks good tonight, I'll tell you that.
It does, and you know, and some of the intel that we had, Larry, is that certainly cornering speed has been the BMW's advantage this week in testing. Whereas the Porsche, as we look at Brian Bennett just ahead of Leo Dragota, the Porsche has definitely been the fastest car in a straight line, which is not necessarily something that I would have expected. And it may just be the way that the Porsche drivers have had the rear end of the car trimmed out. But we see here the exit speed of that BMW considerably more than Bennett coming out of 5. Oh!
Wow.
As Dragota goes around, don't know if Bennett got into him or not, Larry. It was awfully close.
Yeah.
As Dragota just did not get a good run, as Dragota was trying to defend coming down the inside, going in the 7, just did not get a lot of exit speed.
Yeah, he's got some damage there. Let's see if there's contact here between them. There's 7. There is a little bit coming out that I think Bennett gets the back of him, and then one of the Eagle Beaver entries going to get caught there as well. So stewards are going to take a look at it. It's under review already.
Yeah, it looked like John Sterling just
and you can see
avoid a disaster by going around the outside of both of them.
And Dragota, you can see the golf clubs in the trunk of the BMW at this point. We thought there was so much damage to the back end.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, the other Dragota is in a good little battle. Dan Carrito from the pro category. And they've gotten around Bennett, who was, of course, involved with Leo. So I wonder if Lucas is going to, get a little paybacks for his brother. They may not be teammates anymore, but, don't mess with blood. And it sounds
there
like...
you go. It's best that he does not take out an exact revenge, Larry, because Brian Bennett has just been given a drive-through penalty for that contact with former teammate Leo.
Yep. And for Bennett, probably has to expect that. Meanwhile, Bobby back out there looking good. Trying to get some points here in the first of 2 tonight. Technically, I guess 6th. Half a track or a lap or 2 down from the top 5. That's Chris Klimovich in the 128. The other half of the Klim Club goes crazy. There's Doug and Christine and all the others watching in tonight. Good, they've got 2 drivers to cheer on tonight in this series. He's on track right behind the Canadian Steve Stinson. And just ahead, of course, of Brockway. Just behind him in the Mercedes.
All right, so Bennett working his way down the pit lane now to serve his penalty. And he rejoins Larry, of course, 8th in pro, but I think more importantly, it's going to be somewhere around 17th. Or thereabouts amongst all the GT4 drivers. So
yeah, which puts him outside of where the inversion will be for the second race, and he would love to get himself to that 10th spot, which at one point was David Klimovich, but now it's John Sterling is sitting in the 10th spot. He's 3rd in GT4 AM with the 7 GT4 pros in front of them. Well, this is what's left of the leaders now after all the activity behind them. Travis Schwenke, Eric Violet, and Mike Dam. Dam doing a good job of staying clean. But look at Violet making a move down the inside, going down the hill. He's going to threaten for it. They're going to be side-by-side. Schwenke goes real wide. I don't think he was pushed there. I think Schwenke just ran there.
No, I think he just ran off. I think he just tried to give, thought he needed to give Violet room.
I mean, it was good racing. I wish he didn't need to go off to do it, but it didn't look like there was any contact. Violet, though, great to see the aggressiveness here at this stage. About 2/3 the way through this first sprint, wanting a sprint win. And that's the guy he told us before the race. He's in a rivalry kind of points battle with is Schwenke. So Violet and Schwenke dueling it out by just a handful of points. We'll go through the whole recap of that probably between races tonight, but that's your 1-2 in points right there. Currently sitting 1-2 in the race.
Yeah, and Larry, considering that Violet hadn't raced a GT4 car really ever before this season, and jumped into the Aston a couple of hours before round 1 started, he's really starting to show that he can handle this car. As a matter of fact, he was our fastest driver in practice this week in the Aston, turning in a 125 flat. Almost 0.3 of a second, actually about 0.2 faster, I think, than our fastest lap so far here tonight.
Yeah, he definitely looks racy with this group. Let's see if he can get another run this time. It looks like Schwenke got a better run out of the chicane, so we'll watch them come down the hill. I think they're going to go single file, and about 14 more minutes before this first one's done. Let's see what the rest of this field's doing. There's a couple of little battles going on, trains happening. This one, Dan Carrito 5th in pro. Lucas Dragoto, your leader in AM. Yeah, you got Alex Brown as well. So you got the 4-5 in pro and the 1 in AM, all lined up here with Tyler King trying to get between them. He's your leader of the overall in the race in LMP3. He doesn't want to get caught up in anybody's mayhem. Doesn't seem to be conservative here, though.
No. I mean, he picked the spot. He picked a nice spot to slot in between Brown and Carrito, and gets the pass done on Brown as they come out of turn 5. And that shouldn't be too hard for Carrito and Dragotta to make up on the Mercedes. But Mercedes has been kind of strong in a straight line, though.
You've got Chris Thorman that was in that group, too. But we go back to this battle. This continues to be the Steve Stinson, Chris Klimovich, Greg Brockway, Russ Ruddock train that's going on here. All these AM drivers fighting for, I think it's going to be about 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, I think. To Brockway, of course. Russ Ruddock right on his tail. I like the paint scheme there on Ruddock. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, shows off well in the early morning light.
It does. The sunrise reflects nicely on that green there on the back half of that BMW.
And if we jump back to our leaders, I'm testing out the new rain functionality in iRacing.
the driver's eye in that rearview mirror. They are not even blinking. How does he do it?
Bet he's not breathing either, Larry.
What? What do you mean? How does he go 35 minutes without breathing? I don't know. Look at this run here, and I think Violet's got an opportunity. Schwenke's going defensive down the hill. Violet's going to pop. They're going to go side by side with the chicane, or is this going to be another up and under move? Yeah, it's up and under a little bit here. Good job by Schwenke. And look at that, losing a spot as Violet to Mike Dam. Poorly executed by Violet, but well done by both of the Orion drivers there. Now with 1-2 in the race.
Let's
Bobby.
take a look at that again, Larry.
Yeah, Bobby coming through there as well. Yeah, look at this. So well set up here. I really thought Violet was going to have a great chance to push Travis Schwenke to a bad line. It actually looks like Violet broke late.
Yeah,
And
just
then,
a little bit too late. It was basically trying to keep the car on the road coming through 10A.
Yeah,
Had no speed up the hill.
And Bobby just trying to avoid that. And he may have just taken himself out while trying to avoid the GT4 leaders. That's not good.
Uh-oh. Let's see what
We're going to
happens.
get a replay here, I think. We had seen Bobby coming through them as here they are, going up the hill through one. Bobby's going to go around, maybe not around. He's going to back off. And?
Oh. And maybe Jim Pfeiffer got...
Wow.
I think that was Pfeiffer. Might have gotten into the back of him.
It was. Wow. That's rough. Gonna get an onboard here from Pfeiffer. Perfect. But he's gonna come up. He's gonna be thinking, all right, I can get around the first guy. And Bobby was just stopped.
Oh, wow. You know,
I can't hold Pfeiffer accountable too much there because you guys don't expect that.
Yeah, you can't expect that. And we know that Bobby had been having some rig issues the last couple of weeks. He may have had that happen again because I don't think you can really hold Pfeiffer. You have to hold him responsible, but you know when the car was almost at a dead standstill coming up the hill there, you just don't expect to see that.
Yeah, hey John, I think we're going to have to flash to a replay somewhere of Dan Carrito that may have been involved in something. I was just going to say that Dan Carrito was given a drive-through penalty for an incident. Yeah, with the 55 of Stephen May at some point.
Should also mention, Larry, that our interview guest earlier tonight, Andre Wedderburn, has been on the pit lane for around 12 minutes. Let's take a look.
There's May in the McLaren, and there's Carrito just got a little aggressive coming out of 7, just clips in the back of him, and for that he'll get a drive-through penalty, and for May he gets to go to the flagger station there at 7. Say hi. Get a look here at John Casey, his Mercedes. That's Tom Jenkins in the Midfield Motorsport BMW. They're going to have a drag race here. This is for position. Should be for 6th and AM in the race. See if we got a braking contest coming down the hill. Jenkins going to hold that inside. That's Carrito right in front of him, too.
That was, nice job there by Jenkins as he got on the brakes there. I was worried that he might go a little bit too deep into the corner and get into John Casey, and was able to navigate that quite well. Unfortunately, couldn't make the pass.
He could not, but it's good fair racing. I think it's Jake Zito in the LMP3 going by there, I think. Unless I got that wrong. Sometimes those LMP3s, hard to read the driver's name in the rear wing or catch a number on it. I think it was Josh Vidal that just went by this too. So Josh a few laps down after his incident earlier. About 8 laps down. Just getting practice for the second race tonight, I think.
Yeah. Getting ready for that invert.
7 cars in the field of LMP3s tonight, so not too bad. You just have to survive the first race, get some practice in. Considering the weather conditions aren't going to change, it's a good chance for practice. Let's see what Klimovich now under pressure from Sterling. The battle for second in GT4 AM. These guys are 9 seconds back from Lucas, but yeah, and then Weston right there in this group as well. So 2, 3, and 4, nose to tail. With Jeff Jacobs running 6th in pro just in front of him. And this would be if the race ended now. Oh, and there's some excitement there. It looks like Klimovich had an issue there coming up the hill. He's going to give up the spot.
Sterling puts the Mercedes ahead, now moves up to the second in AM.
Weston now is on the tail of Klimovich coming down the hill through the S's.
And I think Weston right now, Larry, is he's at the cutoff spot for the invert.
He is, yes. He's in that 10th spot. They're about 5 seconds clear of Leo Mora. So right now, not under threat, but if any one of these two have any issues, Leo Mora and Brian Bennett could be back in the hunt for that invert. Remember, Bennett has had his issues with the penalty and everything. Currently running in 12th overall amongst all the GT4s.
As we've got now just a little bit less than 5 minutes remaining in this first of 2 races here for round number 4 of the miniMite Sportscar Series.
There's Bennett. Good look at him as he's trying to get around Leo Mora. This will put him in 11th, so he's just hoping someone in that top group in the next 5 minutes has an issue that'll put him potentially. Could you imagine this guy being on the pole?
Put him right back on the pole, yeah.
Yeah, he could be on the pole for both races tonight. Not the way he wanted his first race to go, but he may be able to salvage something if this works. If not, the worst is he'll be sitting right behind the leader or the winner of the first round, so he'll be in good company at that point. So this is the battle for second in LP3. This should be Jim Pfeiffer and Adam Johnson, and it looks like Johnson's going to pop to the inside. Good pass. See if he makes a stick now coming up the hill.
Good move by the wrong stuff driver.
And they're not done yet. They may be coming up on a Marlon. Now Marlon Jones about half a lap back, so they've got some distance on Jones. So they're just kind of in their own battle and about that 30 seconds back from Tyler King.
Yeah, and Jake Zito just took to the pits.
Yeah, Jake's had a couple of issues tonight. See if we can catch a replay of Jake coming all by himself down the S's, the famous Atlanta S's, through Child's Corner. He gets wide and bumpy and wide, and well, that'll make the car a hair shorter.
Guarantee you there was a wall back behind those trees. Yep, and there
he found
there
it.
It is.
You may not be able to see it, but Jake can. Yeah, so here he goes. This is another replay. Look at this curbing. Bounce, sideways, bounce. Remember that tire wall? Forget the tires, go straight for the wall.
He missed it. Concrete.
That's an unfortunate way to run out of this thing, so he is in the pits. As is Klimovich.
Oh,
he was in that battle a moment ago to catch a replay of whatever happened to him.
So, Larry, that going to now move Bennett up to
it is,
up to the
or did he
spot?
just have a fueling issue? I'm starting to wonder if perhaps Klimovich didn't add enough fuel for the entire race. He did it for a 30-minute, maybe not a 35-minute
race. Yeah, it looks like he
race.
just drove down the pit lane.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. The Klim Club is not going to be happy about that one. So, yes, as you said, that's going to put Brian Bennett now up into the top 10. In fact, I think Bennett now might even be up into the top 9.
Yeah, let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, with Neil Weston currently in the transfer spot at 10th.
So what happened to Weston?
And Dan Carrito and Weston are in very close proximity at this point.
I thought Weston was right behind Klimovich when Klimovich came down into pit lane. So I'm wondering what happened to Weston. He just
starting to think maybe
had a
they got together.
Issue. Maybe. Because Bennett has been fast. It's possible Bennett just caught it. Bennett has been flying around this track, fastest car on track the last number of laps. So would not surprise me at all if he just closed the gap on him and made the move. So right now that puts Weston then on the bubble.
Uh-oh. Dave Klimovich in the chat says now we're going to have to pass the hat because Dave can't afford enough gas.
Doug, I'll cover the next race. I'll make sure that I'll pick up the extra couple of bucks for his race gas in his sim car. All right, well, we are counting down.
Larry, I'm wondering
Oh,
if Tyler
no.
King might have some fueling issues.
Well,
there he goes.
There's 30 seconds left.
I'm thinking that he was trying to get another lap in.
He can't. It's not going to matter. I don't think how the sim works. He's going to see a white flag, not a checker.
There it is. One more.
Or he's trying to save fuel because he only fueled for 35 minutes. He's going to end up running a little over 36. Well, he's got the white flag, so will everyone else that's behind him, or anyone that he's about to pass, which could include these two.
Yeah, the battle for the lead right now in GT4
they aren't
Pro.
far ahead of the race leader. All right, so we're going to go audio only as we may have just had our graphic session quit. All right, so the leaders of GT4, Travis Schwenke, Mike Dam, nose to tail, coming off of turn 7. Right now, they have not seen a white flag, and they have not been passed yet by Tyler King, the overall race leader. So this battle could go
King is coming out of 7 right now. He's about 40 car lengths back, Larry.
So this battle's going to go a lap and a half.
Yeah.
Eric Violette probably about 7-8 car lengths back from them. King might catch him.
And if King does, that will end Violet's race. And now as they come down into the hill, come down the hill into 10A, Schwenke goes to defend. He holds off Dam as they now come underneath the Fox Factory Bridge, and they are going to have one more lap here to go for race number 1 at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. As they come out of the final corner, Larry, side by side, Violet crosses the start-finish stripe before Tyler King does. King will take the checkered flag and the win in LMP3 here in race number 1.
That's important, though, for Eric Violette, because should these two fight each other to the death, so to speak, it means there's an extra lap opportunity for Eric Violette to be there. Now, right now, this battle is very intense between Schwenke and Dam. It was side by side as they crossed the stripe to take the white flag. Dam has been pushing all over the back of Schwenke. Schwenke doing a good job of holding position, and he leads going into 6.
All right, Adam Johnson crosses the stripe. He's going to finish 2nd in LMP3. Jim Pfeiffer will finish on the 3rd step of the podium here for race number 1 as our leaders in GT4 Pro come out of turn 7, head onto the back straight. We've got Eric Violette about 20 car lengths back as our leaders now make the run down. We got Schwenke center of track with Mike Dam tucked in very closely behind. We're going to see if he pokes out as they come down the hill. Schwenke goes to cover center of track. Dam looks to the left, does not make a move. Schwenke comes back to driver's right, sets up his normal line under braking. Dam is going to follow him through 10A and 10B underneath the Fox Factory Bridge. And as they come down to the checkered flag, taking the win in GT4 Pro is Travis Schwenke. Eric Violette will finish 3rd behind Mike Dam as the rest of the field filters through. Great run coming down the hill now. Alex Brown, he's going to finish in 4th.
Yeah, great job there for Schwenke. Coming off of turn 7, he didn't give Mike Dam a chance down the back straight. Schwenke holding on. I'd like to say flag to flag, but there were a couple of different leaders in that. Schwenke started that whole group in 3rd or 4th, ends up winning the first sprint. So good job for Travis and his Orion team.
All right, so Larry, there you go. So it is, as we mentioned there, it is the Orion Racers of Schwenke, then Dam, and then Violette rounding out your top 3 in GT4 Pro and GT4 AM. It is, oh my gosh. Larry, can you pull that up real quick? Or actually, I guess, no, I don't think so. Tell you what, we're going to come back. Here we go. There's our finishing order. We'll see if we can. Well,
I can tell you it was Lucas Dragota getting the win in GT4.
There you go. With John Sterling 2nd and John Casey rounding out your top 3 in AM. All right, we're going to Take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a few minutes with race number 2 from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. You are watching the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech miniMite Sports Car Challenge here on Apex Racing TV.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best-trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org. The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
And welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta for round number 4 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech miniMite Sports Car Challenge here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsberg along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And Larry, as we've got the remainder of our 5-minute warm-up going on here, and then we'll see as our racers will start to grid up with that inverted field. Let's take a second here to take a look back at last week, and we'll give you the point standings as they stood before tonight's first race of the evening. Here we'll start off with GT4 AM, where Lucas Dragota took the win in race number 1 last week, with Chuck Labano finishing second and Andre Wedderburn finishing in third. With then David Klimovich winning race number 2, Neil Weston second, Dale Maxwell third. And if we take a look at the race, the standings here, again, this is after 3 rounds. Of course, 2 weeks ago, round number 3 was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course. Lucas Dragota, he is your points leader. I think, let me see if I've got this right. Indeed, He is your points leader. With Andre Wedderburn second, and let's try that again. Slow Bro Brothers Racing, Dale Maxwell sitting in third. And actually, I don't think that is right. Let me try that again. I think I got my sheets mixed up here. Yeah, Dragota, Labano, and Wedderburn. That is your top 3. Dragota coming into the evening with 170 points, and then Labano and Wedderburn separated by only 3, 118 to 115, and only 5 points back from there, Dale Maxwell sitting in 4th position. There we go. Thank you for throwing that up on the screen, John. I probably should have looked at that first anyhow. All right, let's look over at GT4 Pro, where we had Brian Bennett take the win in race number 1 with Mike Dam and Eric Violette rounding out the top 3. Travis Schwenke finishing 4th. And in the second race of the evening, it was Alex Brown with Mike Dam and Brian Bennett, your top 3. Robert Schwenkler from The Wrong Stuff finishing in 4th. And so your point standings now, and we'll see here. It is Travis Schwenke, as we mentioned, on the top of the leaderboard currently with 166 points. 3 points back from there, Eric Violette, and then Robert Hartley from Orion, who is not here this evening. Violette sitting in third with 150 points, only 3 points back from there, Mike Dam, his teammate. And another 3 points back with 144, Dan Carrito from Saints and Sinners Racing. Not very far back at all. So let's go and we'll take a look now quickly at LMP3, where in race number 1, we had Tyler King from Aerokinetics take the win. Jim Pfeiffer from Sector 5 finished second. Adam Johnson third. Race number 2, and Larry, we were not here for this. I am absolutely heartbroken. Bobby Childs took the win in race number 2 at Indianapolis for D2D Sim Racing. Aaron Beaver, his teammate, finished second, and Josh Vidal finished third. And if we take a look at the point standings, it is Tyler King, your points leader, with 193 points. Only 6 points back is Phantom Power Racing's Josh Vidal, and then another 44 points, probably 38 points back from there, Bobby Childs in third, with Sector 5's Jim Pfeiffer running fourth in the championship. With, again, that was after 3 rounds tonight, round 4.
I think Bobby did that on purpose so he wouldn't have to be interviewed by us. Winning in the 1 week that we weren't here. Bobby, I'll try not to hold it against you, but I'm a little bit offended. It's okay. You're going to have to win another one just so we can get you back in the booth. Remember, people that don't know, maybe you're just tuning in the last season or so, Bobby used to do commentary with us some nights when things didn't work out on track for him. So we got to know Bobby really well, but it's been probably 2 years since we've had Bobby in the booth.
Maybe before we've had him up, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm offended. Only a little bit. I still like Bobby. How could you not?
Yeah, exactly. How could we not?
Yeah. All right, so we're doing the grid shuffle here, as we try and sort things out and try to figure out how this is going to be done. So we do inversions. The GT4s, that's a little easier. We'll get to that in a second. In the LMP3s, I believe I'm going to try and get this. They're inverting the top 4.
So they're supposed to be with the LMP3s. We were told they invert the top 50%, which would tell me that they'd only be inverting like the top 3 or the top 5 racers.
I can tell you what they've done is they have taken the top 4 and inverted them in LMP3. So that puts Marlon Jones on the pole tonight, lined up alongside Jim Pfeiffer. There's your front row. Second row is going to be Adam Johnson alongside your round 1 winner, Tyler King. Row 3 is going to fall in order of the remaining drivers. It's going to be Jake Zito on the inside, Josh Vidal on the outside, and Bobby Childs bringing up the rear. And that's what it looks like they've done there on track in front of us.
Okay.
GT4s, it's a top 10 inverted. The bottom group will stay as they finish the first race. If you'd like, I can go through what that grid would look like.
I know you had them ready at the commercial break. Yeah, let's run through what the top 10 should be here tonight.
So on the pole for round 2 tonight, he had his own issues during the race, was given a penalty, a drive-through that he served. He's going to be on the pole. Dan Carrito, in fact, all of the first row has served a drive-through in the first race. Brian Bennett should be on the outside of row 1. On the second row, it's going to be John Sterling on the inside and Jeff Jacobs on the outside. Row 3 should be Chris Thorman and Lucas Dragota, your AM winner from the first round. Row 4, Alex Brown and Eric Violette, followed by row 5, the 2 fought it out to the end of the first round, Mike Dam and your round 1 winner, Travis Schwenke. Behind them on row 6, John Casey and Dale Maxwell. On row 7, Klim Club Goes Crazy, Debbie Klimovich on the inside with Steven Stinson on the outside. Behind them, Greg Brockway and Russ Ruddock. Then we'll have Matt Petipus and Leo Mora. Behind them, Chris Klimovich, Neil Weston. Then we've got Tom Jenkins and Stephen May, Chad Sebring, and Leo Dragota. Then finally, Brian Steele and Andre Wedderburn. So Dragota, who had that great fight early in that race, did not make the inversion. He's going to start this on the second to last row.
Second to last. And Andre Wedderburn, I don't see as having joined the session, Larry, which...
might be him at the back of the pack.
No, let's see. I'm still showing us that he's not in there. I think that might be
Brian Steele. You're right.
The Steele Porsche.
Yeah, Wedderburn's
McLaren not here, and
In fact, yeah, he looks like he quit the whole session just around the break. So we're not going to see Wedderburn in the second half. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be Leo Dragoda. I don't know that you can win a 35-minute sprint race from the back, but he may be able to salvage a couple of points, maybe get himself up into the top, let's say 5 or 6 if he gets a little bit of luck here on the start. But you never know with these inverted races. Yellow flags are a thing. We'll see if they can keep it clean and green here to start round 2 tonight. Marlon Jones leading the field down the back straight. He will see the first green flag of that group.
All right, so our prototype racers now, Larry, starting to form up here on the back straight.
Well, you had mentioned that in practice this week, Jim Pfeiffer was very fast, and what we saw in the race was he was pretty quick, moved his way past a couple of drivers, was able to get up further into the field. He's going to start this on the front row. Watch for Pfeiffer early on to be the one the rest of them chase.
All right, GT4 cars starting to form up as well as the LMP3 racers led by Marlon Jones and Jim Pfeiffer come up the hill and underneath the Fox Factory Bridge into the start zone. Our live starter can give the command at any time as they come down the hill. And there you go, green flag is in the air, and we are back underway here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. As they stay 2 by 2, as Marlon Jones looks to protect the inside there as they come up the hill. Doesn't get a lot of speed. Pfeiffer runs wide, coming through 3, Larry. Gets the car back under control, but he's now going to drop almost to the back of the LMP3 field with just Jim Zito behind. That's going to move Marlon Jones and Tyler King up to first and second as our GT4 racers get the green flag. And Dan Carrito is going to try to lead them into turn 1 with the Eagle Beaver, John Sterling, very close behind as they head up the hill.
Carrito broke line early. I don't know if the stewards allow that. If you notice, as he got to start finish, he was already on the other lane. We'll see if that's a thing. And we may have a Bobby Charles already in the pits.
Oh, it was like both Zito and Childs at Bobby's corner over at turn 5. Let's see what happened to him here on the first lap under cold tires.
It's Zito.
No,
it's Bobby.
It's Bobby who goes around, goes off the wall driver's right, and collects Zito as Zito is coming up blind over the crest of the hill.
Yeah, Zito took a bit of an elbow to the chin there, it looked like, and got himself knocked out. But let's go back to the lead of the GT4s, and that's Carrito and Sterling and Bennett kind of pulled away just a little bit ahead of Jeff Jacobs. This is where these inverted fields gets interesting because the group that did so well the opening lap, in fact, I'm going to stop because these things are going side by side into the chicane. Sterling with a nose ahead. Carrito able to stay ahead. Sterling's on the outside. Bennett wants to get through. He's on the inside. Now of all 3, we're going to see a 3 wide coming down through start finish.
Oh my, that's awesome. That was a thing of beauty, Larry. Carrito holds off Bennett as they come underneath the bridge. But now Bennett's got a little bit of position here going into turn 1. Carrito manages to keep the car on track. Comes right across his nose. That is some great racing.
That was great stuff. And I worry coming up the hill there, that outside line's really tough to hold. But good job there for Carrito. Now he's able to keep that lead back. Bennett, in all of that, was able to get around Sterling. So now it's the 2 Porsches in front of the AMG. And that's Lucas Dragoda. There you go, right on him. He's up into 4th overall in this thing that quickly.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Larry, and with that battling through those final 3 corners, that now brings Dragoda and Jeff Jacobs and Eric Violet and Travis Schwenke all to the party as well.
Busy up there right now, and I got to put my money on Lucas to make a move here because I see Eric Violet, I see a Schwenke coming through. Lucas wants to make a move on Sterling here real soon. Look at Violet, though, going down the inside of Jeff Jacobs.
And Jacobs isn't going to fight that one. Violet goes a little bit deeper into the brake zone, so move Violet now up into 5th position in GT4, 3rd and Pro.
Yeah, good start for Eric in this race after he kind of lost touch with Mike Dam and with Travis Schwenke at the end of the first race. But look at this. Bennett now going to pop to the inside again, thinking he's got the inside line. Good again, the outside, though, is Carino, and he does a really good job of holding it. Bennett and Sterling fighting.
Yeah, every time that Bennett comes down the inside going in the one, I think that, Carrillo's going to look to the inside, try to open up the corner a little bit and give Bennett room and maybe run wide. But Carrillo's done a great job through there, holding the line and still carrying the speed up the hill, up towards turn 3.
So good run here. Let's see if anybody can get a better run than anyone else. The oddball car in this group is that Mercedes of Sterling. See if it's got a bit more revs to the top end. See if he can get a pull on Bennett in front of him as they go up and over the hill.
And again, it's been pretty much confirmed that the Porsche is a little bit faster in the straight lines here and on this long back straightaway than every other GT4 car, but the Mercedes of Sterling, he keeps the long-nose machine in the drag.
Wow, so good on the brakes though is Sterling.
Yeah,
and a real crisp turn in to get up there almost inside of Bennett. He kind of had to back off as they went left, right in that chicane, but the Mercedes is awfully good on brakes. I would have put my money in the Porsche, but tonight that looks good. But behind them, it's the other Mercedes, of course, the Jagoda. And then you got the Aston that just seems to be like at everything, but Violet doing a great job with it tonight.
Yeah, and Violet had to gather up the rear end as he dropped the left rear wheel in the grass coming out of turn 12.
There's a shot of Vidal, currently running second in the LMP3s. Tyler King's been able to pull out to another lead here, about 5 seconds, but Vidal wants to hang on to that second spot. This guy, Adam Johnson, about 2 seconds back, but he's got Pfeiffer now on his 6.
John Casey taking a quick look to the inside on Russ Ruddick.
Well, that's Steve Stinson right in front of them.
Yeah.
Stinson trying to pull away from this group, put some daylight between himself and Russ Ruddick. Yeah, so Alex Brown just ahead of Mike Dam as the battle for all the maple syrup in the world now underway as they go underneath the starter stand. The two Canadians battling it out. What I want to check in at some point here tonight will be Leo Jagoda. Remember, he started in the second to last row. He's having a pretty good start to this race from the pro category.
Yeah, Larry, he's made up 13 positions so far.
He has.
And he's still sitting 8th in pro, but that's I think 12th.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's probably thinking we're going to do third round tonight, so there'll be another inversion, right, guys?
Right.
No, unfortunately for Leo, there's not. But again, if he can salvage, he's in 8th in pro, but if he can salvage something up into the top 5, who's that?
That was, I think, Dale Maxwell, Larry, that went off at turn 5.
Yeah.
That Cayman looks all that much shorter right now.
And he's right in front of the leaders there. Well, not leaders, but a couple of different cars rolling through and manages to get it back on somewhat safely, but he's missing some componentry across the back. That's a lot of curb coming down the S's. And Bobby Childs waving him along from his corner, and that's just back in wiggle, out of waggle, and into the wall he goes.
He saw Bobby to his left, tried to avoid him, went to the right.
Bobby's there on the hillside, already got a beer cracked open.
Bobby's in the chat acknowledging that it's called Bobby's Corner, which is good.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Bobby. All right, so here's another run up the hill. Lucas this time trying to see if there's something there, and there's not on the inside of Bennett. This is definitely helping Carrito pull out now from Sterling and Bennett. About a second and a half over these guys. So I think Lucas, maybe even, oh, that's a wide line there for Bennett. But I'm wondering now if Lucas and even Eric Violet are going to get a little bit antsy. Violet especially, because he's going to have a Travis Swanky right there on his tail, and I know that that's the fight he wants to stay ahead of. He already knows Schwenke got a win in the first round. Violet would love to get a win here in the second round, but he's got a lot of cars to get to the front. Someone's got to make a move here. There's your race leader King coming up to try and pass all of them.
And Larry, something to note, and Violet, when he sent me some notes earlier tonight, it kind of made mention of it. The Aston, although it seems to get off the turn 7 really well, gets a nice dig out of there, it just doesn't have a lot of top end. And you could see there as, well, partly as the LMP3 car was coming through, but with about a quarter of the back straight to go, the Aston just kind of fell back through.
Well, this time, the Aston looks pretty good there in the hands of Chris Thorman as he was able to just get past Chad Saber in there. Maybe a little bit of a nudge to say, excuse me, pardon me, I'm coming through, going into 10, but he makes it stick. But as you say, the Aston, not always the best at the end of the straightaway, even though it looks good at the start of it.
Yeah, and Thorman, one of our pro racers, and mired in a slew of AM drivers there, which might have a little bit to do with it as well. But yeah, absolutely, you see there where the Aston seems to fall off by maybe a car length to maybe 2 car lengths before they get into the braking zone at 10.
Jeff Jacobs now with a train behind him. That's Mike Dam in that train. Alex Brown behind him. And a couple of the LMP3s. See which one that is, if that's Pfeiffer going by. I think it is. Pfeiffer currently running 4th.
And we've got Amanda Diaz in the chat, Larry. She's cheering on Leo Mora, who's currently sitting 3rd in AM. Got a long way to go to get up to Lucas Strigota and John Sterling. But
look at this. Speaking of Sterling.
Yeah, great move there.
As Sterling's teammate, Alex Brown, making a move here to try and get around Jacobs. But Jacobs driving that wide BMW again. Hold him off right here. This, of course, is Sterling in the middle of the battle here. Eric Violet, Travis Schwenke now right behind him. Lucas Strigota, Brian Bennett in front of them.
Yeah, and Larry, big change there is Lucas Strigota on this lap got around John Sterling to take over the lead in GT4 AM. See if we can get a replay of that.
Sterling trying to make a move here. We're getting the move made on him by Eric Violet. So Violet now doing what he needed to do, but now we'll get to watch the legs. It's a drag race between the Mercedes and the Aston down the back straight.
Yeah, and let's take a look here. Well, for the moment, the Mercedes tucks in. Let's go and take a look at that pass for the lead in AM.
Look at this 3 wide down the hill.
Got awfully crowded down there, Larry.
Who sure did. Oh, that's where it is. Bennett went wide in the grass. Managed to keep it back on, and Lucas just follows him.
Yeah, it looked as though John Sterling maybe let out of the throttle a little bit on the front straight, anticipating that Bennett was going to come back across, and he didn't.
Could be. Yeah, that was sketchy when you go off at those speeds down the hill into the grass there, 4 off. But Bennett manages to hold it, maybe to Lucas's benefit. It's Lucas now behind Bennett, running 3rd overall amongst the GT4s. As we go back to this battle of Weston, Stinson, Ruddick, the whole train going on here. 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe, here in GT4M. Oh, Sterling having an issue. He was in that battle a moment ago with Lucas Strigota and Bennett. And now as we watch the replay of him here coming down through the S's, oh, that's a lot of dirt there at that curb. And that's a lot of wall on the right front. Ouch. Sterling scuffing up the Eagle Beaver on the right side.
I was going to say somebody plucked the feathers off of the Beaver there.
It's going to look more like a platypus when we're done. So yeah, They have a flat bill. So that's going to drop him back now. Still technically second in AM, but he lost a lot of positions, which is a lot of points. But now he's behind teammate Alex Brown. So we're going to have multiple Eagle Beavers.
Is this Eagle on Beaver violence or Beaver on Eagle violence?
This is where you see who the team lead really is. And I think Alex Brown may pull rank here and tell John to stay behind.
Stay behind, yeah.
As the Eagle Beavers are flying in formation. They've left the nest together. You know, it's John in the background saying things that most audience can't hear. But yes, when you've got two beavers attacking a dam, they just sort of write themselves. Aaron Beaver was not injured in the filming of this race. He's not even in tonight's race. But okay, so in this group, you've got Leo Dragota, who worked his way from the back of the pack all the way to 6th in pro. Jeff Jacobs is in there. Behind them, there you've got Sterling and Brown just all together now. Look at this run as Leo would love to put these two behind him. Leo's having a fantastic run here.
He is.
He's passed like 15 cars. Leo Dragota is
18
he's
cars, Larry. He's now up to
7th on track.
7th in GT4, 6th in pro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unbelievable run for him to salvage some points out of what was a terrible starting position. This is just incredible.
You know, he's got 4 seconds to the next driver up the road, and that's teammate Mike Dam.
And Dam is in that train. So that means he's only 5 seconds off the lead of the race. Who's fighting, and he's got 20 minutes to get there. And the way he's going, I wouldn't bet against him. This is crazy. Yeah, look at that. Look how quickly he was gaining. Now, of course, the last lap, as he was fighting to that pack, there's a drop there. But prior to that, several tenths, a full second per lap on this group. And look at this. This is what's happening in front of him, though. This is Schwenke and Dam, the next two people that Leo would love to catch, those two teammates. These guys trying to catch that guy. Now, Brian Bennett did a good job of leading the pack back up to Dan Carrito. So the lead now back in play, and there's those lap times. Thank you, John. Good job for Bennett. See if Bennett can get a run anywhere. This is such a tough track to pass.
Yeah, I think for the GT4 cars, Larry, I mean, we've seen obviously where drivers have not get a good run up the hill out of turn 1, but for the most part, it's going into 10A, and that's it.
Again, they go up the hill. We've seen a lot tonight of those two in particular going up the hill side by side. We'll get to them maybe the next time around as we flash to the Klim Club. Yep, that would be both of them.
Yeah, they are.
That's,
David, then Chris, the 21, and then the 128.
They are together.
Currently running 11th and 12th.
Slightly different modifications to their front arrow as David looks a little bit bent. Hopefully David put enough fuel in the car this time, even after I chipped in. Hopefully he's got enough. Chris running wide, though.
No.
He's going to save it, I think. He does.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Whew. Doug just about had a heart attack. No worry, though. Christine had confidence that it was going to be saved. No problem.
Well, Doug's worried about, never mind the fact that he's got to buy gas for the kid, that might have to buy tires too.
All right, well, here's a pass potentially for the lead. This is Bennett to the inside into 10 as he got the lead. Boy, does he ever.
Oh, my.
Good job on the brakes even for Bennett.
So deep on the brakes.
That's huge for him, but watch Lucas. Lucas now with a run to try and do the double pass on Carrito. Lucas is not going to get that good a run. He may have to carry it all the way up the hill into turn 1.
And I think the measure of the man is going to be seeing whether or not Carrito can regroup after that pass right there and hold off the 119 car. And but so far, Carrito, given that he finished 10th in race number 1, has run a pretty spectacular first 17 minutes of this race here.
All right, so here's Thorman now around Russ Ruddock with Casey and Stenson right in front of him. Look at this. Casey now to the inside of Stinson. Not able to make it stick going into 3. Who's that there in the LMP3 that would like to get on by this group? Knock on the door. That's Josh Vidal, currently running second in this race, stuck behind a train of GT4s.
And should watch here as John Casey starting to get very loose as they come up the hill out of 5. But Casey getting around Stinson.
Look at Vidal trying to find room. He gets in there. He's going to have to wait behind Casey, though. Vidal with a good run. Now he'll get it by. In his mirrors. Back to the front group. Lucas Jagoda right in between Credo and Violet. Eric Violet looking pretty racy here at this stage. So his car had moments in the first round. It looked like he was going to have a chance for the lead, then eventually faded back from those fast Orion BMWs in the front. But no BMWs in front of the Aston this time for Violet. So maybe he's thinking he's got a chance.
Yeah, and you'd imagine that Violet, again, wants to make up as many positions as possible here. If he can put himself ahead of Lucas Dragoda, I think they wouldn't lose any points on the evening to Schwenke, maybe a single point in the championship, but certainly with Schwenke right behind him.
Oh, and here's an opportunity here as he gets up alongside of Lucas, but that's going to hurt both of them in their exit speed at 7. This is just going to help Travis, who we're on board with right now. He saw that. Travis thinks it's an opportunity. Really bad exit from Lucas as Eric Violet's going to try and pop out at some point down here. This is where we saw the pass for the lead a moment ago between the two Porsches. This time the Aston. Look at that Mercedes go defensive.
Lucas goes to defend.
But I think Violet's got it anyway, and he does.
He does.
That's huge for him to now put Lucas in between the two Orion cars and the D2D. Schwenke's going to try and get around the Dragon Sport entry, but I don't know that he's going to be able to here.
Yeah,
all this, by the way, is helping Leo.
I thought about it going in the 1, Larry.
But wait for Leo. He's not far back. He's at the back of the shot there. Saying. Leo still about 4 seconds behind these guys. And you can see they're just dropping a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they start fighting to try and get around brother Lucas. Now, Lucas can play a part in Leo's success tonight. If he, Leo just yells across the bay, hey, Lucas.
Hold him up.
Do your brother a solid here.
Hold him up.
Front group is pretty fast, even when they're swapping positions. The other thing about Leo Dragoda is he may have driven his own tires off, which might be contributing to his slower pace. You can see him in the back.
So Schwenke got a great run out of 7 on Dragoda. Dragoda keeps the car to the inside, tries to protect the line there, but Schwenke gets by under braking, so move Travis Schwenke now up at the 4th, and again is only a single car back from his main competitor, main rival in the championship, Eric Violet.
I wonder if those BMWs are really good on tires as well. Like, if they can hold up, they seem to have great pace at the end of the first round, 35 minutes, and I think they look pretty good at this stage as well, unless you do what perhaps Leo's done, which is just to drive them off, leading to his pace. But generally, they might be able to hold up a pretty solid pace for 35 minutes as we go to this battle of John Sterling and the other Eagle Beaver now to try and get around Jeff Jacobs. Trying. Jeff not taking as much curb there at 3 as Sterling does. But there's over race leader Tyler King, now at a 17-second lead on the rest of this field. I hate to say he's in cruise control, but he certainly has margin to play with. Solid performance so far, running lap times in the 14s and 15s. The rest of the field right now running 17s. 1 minute 17. This guy's Tyler King right now, the fastest in the field tonight. Oh, we got a lot of activity here.
Just ran a little wide coming, or that was Pfeiffer running wide coming through turn 1.
Yeah, Mike Dam now trying to do the same thing to get around Lucas as to what's going on in front of him. Now, in front of all of this, it looked like Eric Violet might have also run wide because now Travis Schwenke has gotten around him, and now Lucas with issues through the end of the S's there through Bobby's corner. Not bad enough, though, for Mike Dam to have an opportunity. Dam's going to have to get it done somewhere else, maybe on the back straight. But he's looking in front of them. Travis Schwenke now ahead of Eric Violet. Like the Mercedes.
All right, Larry, let's take a look and see what happened as Violet was coming out of turn 5.
Yeah, this is all up into one. Violet running wide. This is where you saw Pfeiffer go wide. It was actually because the slow up of Violet in front of them. Yeah, good run there for Schwenke. So there's Mike Dam, currently running 5th in pro, 6th on the track. He is only 2 seconds ahead of his teammate, Leo Dragota, and you can see at the back of the shot there.
Yeah, he's now he's starting to close things down a little bit.
His Dam now is
got
locked
the tires
in
back
here.
underneath him.
Yeah, so Lucas is battling with Dam, while the teammate to both of them, so to speak, Leo Dragota, is right behind them. So which teammate's going to help Leo more, Lucas or Mike? And we're still 9.5 minutes away from the end of this race. Anything can happen. As Bennett, though, once he got around Carrito, was able to pull ahead now about 2 seconds up on Carrito. So was able to make that move. And there you can see the lap times of Bennett with the advantage, about 0.2 a lap. Carrito locked in now with Travis Schwenke, who wants to get back into the top 2. I gotta say, Carrito's done a fantastic job here. Held that lead for quite a while, despite finishing the first race in 10th so far. Poised to potentially get a podium out of this if he can hold off his Schwenke and Violet guys behind him. Wonder if we should check in with the Klim Club and see where David Klimovich is at this point. There he is, kind of right here with this group now, with Ruddock, Stinson, Jenkins in front of him.
This is David Klimovich in the green 21, right? Larry is
Yep.
Chris in the red one is, I think, 3
Couple
cars
spots back.
back. Yeah.
Yep. After he had his near off and on, there's Chris. A little bit of body work to the right front, where David's appears to be dead center of the car. Little body modifications going on in the Klim Club tonight. Chris here locked in with Brockway, while David is locked in with Russ Ruddock. Maybe David's got a run on Ruddock here. Just maybe. That damaged bodywork, though, has got to be hurting his straight line speed. He's trying to use the draft. And you can see the nose on Klimovich just a little bit wrinkled. I think that is hurting his straight line speed. Looks good here through the chicane, though. which can put pressure on.
Oh,
Russ
good run
Roddick.
up the hill.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do anything with it. And I think, Larry, that the shorter wheelbase of the Porsche, especially going through 10A and 10B, he's able to get a little bit better rotation on the car than the BMW ahead. But again, just can't do anything with it as the BMW seems to be able to get a good drive up the hill. As we now have finally Mike Dam, Larry, has managed to get around our GT4 AM leader Lucas Dragotta. I think he did it here under braking going into 1.
Wow, good job there to hold that line side by side for both of them. As they're going to go up into 3, but now being on the inside at 3 really does help Dam to hold that position. That's great racing for the both of them. Super respectful. Good line for Dam to get that charge through. Wow, this battle for second is pretty tough right now. With 6 minutes to go, Carrito, Schwenke, and Violet. Carrito not getting the greatest exit on 5, but able to hold it through 5. They've got an LMP3 car coming up behind them as well. That's Marlon Jones.
As he keeps the BMWs all the way drivers left, then moves over drivers right. But Travis Schwenke does not follow the Porsche there to the right. He's going to try to come down the inside, but Larry, I think, well, oh wow, he's going
dive bomb.
deep on the brakes, but not quite close enough.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! And that all started under braking there with the almost nearly dive bomb move for Schwenke to put himself there. Carrito really having to make a tough exit out of the second part of that chicane, and Schwenke gets into him. All this helps Eric Violet, who managed to sneak by both of them, but I think we're going to take a look at this replay here in a second.
Yeah, and there you go. Schwenke realizing he's got damage. He pulls the car all the way off to the side of the road. That's gonna be it for Travis Schwenke. Let's see if we can get an overhead view here, Larry, as they come under braking. And you say coming from nowhere. Travis Schwenke's so deep on the brakes. You saw where Carrito tried to give him as much room as possible.
Yeah.
And Schwenke just got into the left rear and put him into the wall.
Tough end for Carrito, who really, I thought, even in that position, defended his position well, did everything he was supposed to do there. And unfortunately, I think Schwenke may have been a bit aggressive trying to make that move to get around him, and that's unfortunate for the both of them to be dropped out. But what this means is for the points championship, because Schwenke came into tonight with a lead, wins the first round. Yeah, he was ahead of his rival, and now as we go on board, look how far back Travis was when they went under brakes, and he should try and hold this outside line. He just can't quite, then they kind of get stuck together. Oh, that's tough. So now, huge opportunity for Eric Violet, who was third in the first round tonight. He's up there now, second, I think. Yeah, he's second on the track right now to Brian Bennett. That's huge for him and Mike. Keep an eye out for Leo Dragotta, who's currently fourth, about a second behind his teammate, and he picked up a half a second on the last lap alone because Lucas and Dam are locked in right now, and if that little bit of fighting can help Leo, look at this. Dam currently third, Lucas running fourth on the track, leading an AM. If Lucas is generous to Leo with about maybe 2 to 3 laps to go, this could set up a fight where somebody who starts in the back row may finish near a podium. It's got to be close. What a run for Leo.
You know, in 4 or 5 laps ago, Larry, we thought he'd run his tires off, but got the car back underneath him.
Right. So coming into tonight, Schwenke was your points leader over Eric Violet by 3 points. Of course, we know Schwenke outscored Violet in the first round, but it's going to be the opposite here. Hartley's not here tonight. Dan came in tonight fourth. Dam currently running third. Carrito came into tonight fifth. We saw what just happened to him. Schwenkler not here tonight. Alex Brown's had his issues tonight. Leo Dragotta started tonight ninth. after a 13th place total points outing in Indy 2 weeks ago. This is huge for Leo to salvage something as to what otherwise has been a pretty rough night for him. Look at that, just turned fastest lap of the race at a 24.93 for Lucas Dragotta. Fastest lap by anybody tonight by Lucas.
All right, Larry, let's pick up our overall leader. We haven't talked about him in quite a while here. Here is Tyler King. He's got over a 20-second advantage on the rest of the field. We saw what he tried to do with the towards the end of the first race. Tried to perhaps run one fewer lap, but he's going to come underneath the Fox Factory Bridge and see the white flag in the air. There it is, being waved by Barney. 10, probably 12 more turns to go for Tyler Brown.
Tyler King.
Did I say Tyler Brown? Yes,
You
Tyler
did.
King. Yeah.
Very different Tyler.
Yes.
All right, so then also adjusting the white flag is your GT4 leader, Brian Bennett, with now a 3.5-second lead over Eric Violet. Eric just trying to stay ahead of that guy, Mike Dam, who's got a charge behind him in the form of Dragotta, Lucas and Leo. And then maybe a Josh Vidal, one of the LMP3s coming through. Two of them, in fact.
Two of them. I think that's Vidal and Adam. I think that's Adam Johnson directly.
It may be. And they're locked in their own battle for second. That is for second in the LMP3s. Johnson wanting a piece of this. Look at the move for Vidal, putting Dam between he and Johnson, and they're going to get a run on the back straight. Vidal's going to get a free run. Johnson's going to have to wait and go in behind Dam. That may be helping Vidal all the way to turn 10.
All right, and coming across the line and taking his second win of the evening for Aero Kinetics, it's Tyler King.
This is lap of the race at a 1:14.6 on the final lap. Yeah.
And I'm sure a big relief after having a big off and having to serve a drive-through penalty in race number 1, finishing just at the tail end of the invert. Brian Bennett from Sector 5 Racing, he's going to take the win in race number 2 in GT4 Pro, with Eric Violet finishing second, Mike Dam third. Lucas Dragotta takes the win in GT4 AM, with John Sterling should be coming. Where's Sterling? There he is. John Sterling coming across the line for Eagle Beaver. He'll finish second in AM, and a great run for Leo Mora, who now is coming out of the final corner. And Mora in his Aston Martin will come home in third.
Great battles tonight. Tell you what, as we reach the halfway point in the season, and what is that? Is Klimovich almost taking out another Klimovich?
I think that was Russ Ruddick almost taking the Klimovich out as they came up the hill. Ruddick got a whole lot of wall. John, is it possible for us to see that with maybe a little more?
I saw the flash of green, but yeah, I think you're right. It was the BMW.
Let's take a look. Here comes Ruddick a little bit to the inside as he comes up the hill. You can see he's awfully loose. Drops a wheel in the dirt. And
that was yeah, that little bit of dirt he picked up, I think, may have caused him to keep spinning around. Let's get a different angle on this one.
Looks like he might have avoided the bridge abutment. Let's see.
Oh, look at that pendulum swing. There's some dirt. Klimovich.
Oof.
And wall. Just a little tip.
That could have been a lot worse. Meanwhile, he picked up the drifting course there, the little flip around for the drifters, and that's what it looked like coming in. That he was trying to impress the folks. All right, so there you go. In LMP3, Tyler King, Josh Vidal, Adam Johnson. In GT4 Pro, Brian Bennett, Eric Violet, and Mike Dam. And in GT4 AM, Lucas Dragotta, John Sterling, and Leo Mora. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk to some of our podium finishers here from race number 2. You've just seen round number 4, the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech miniMite Sports Car Challenge here on Apex Racing TV, and we'll be right back.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
The SCCA Foundation is a 501c3 organization serving as the charitable arm of the Sports Car Club of America. One of the programs partially funded by the foundation is the SCCA Academy, an online learning management system used to keep real-life racing track officials up to date on the highest standards of race safety and officiating. Through this program, the SCCA Foundation is supporting the future of the best trained corner workers and event officials in motorsport. You can support these efforts at www.sccafoundation.org.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
And welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We've just seen round number 4 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech miniMite Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsberg along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And John, if we can bring up our finishing order again here from race number 2, where we had Tyler King, Josh Vidal, and Adam Johnson on your podium in LMP3. In GT4 Pro, it was Brian Bennett, Eric Violette, and Mike Dam. And in GT4 AM, Lucas Dragotta, John Sterling, and Leo Mora. All right, let's speak to some of our podium finishers here tonight. And tell you what, Larry, why don't we do this first? As he's just popped in, I want to talk to Eric Violette, who finished second tonight in GT4 Pro, and then we'll move on to our GT4 Pro winner.
Okay. All right, joining us here first, Eric Violette, who got the second spot there on the podium in that second race. I think you were third in the first race, right in the middle of all of it. That was a pretty exciting race. Tell me a little bit about it from your view.
Yeah, the Aston I think was solid, but the other cars I think just had the BMW just turned so much better. So all I could do on that Heat 1 was just try to hope to stay in the Orion guys draft with Dam and Schwenke there. Those guys were just so dang quick. And then the second race, I don't know if I had to avoid the chaos in the first one, but the second one, oh my goodness. I guess Thorman decided to loop it in Bobby's corner there and had almost come to a stop. And I could see the Orion guys coming up, and I don't know, I think there was some traffic or something, and then Travis got by me. He probably would have gotten by me anyway. It would have been more fun to actually battle Travis there. He's the Orion guys were just phenomenal tonight. I guess the only one that was better was Bennett with that Porsche. That Porsche was just crazy, but I know he had a bad Heat 1. So anyway, did. You had a good view.
You had a great view there of the battle of that ended there dramatically in the chicane there at the finish. How close were you to those guys going off on your left?
I don't know how close I was, but I know as soon as Travis went to make the move, I went, okay, they're going to be going slow up this hill. So I backed out a little bit, got the run. I figured I was going to be able to pass both of them. So I knew we'd be about 3 wide going at the bridge, but I figured I'd have my nose ahead and I'd be able to clear them by the bottom of the hill. But they decided to dance right into the wall, so it didn't matter for me. I was like, as soon as that happened, I saw my left window net full of brown car, and my pants, it was almost brown underwear there too. So yeah, it was fortunate for me for points, but it would have been really fun to kind of battle it out a little more, even though I think we were, I don't want to put all on the cars. I mean, the Orion guys are, again, always phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think this one was just, it was just one of those things where it was just barely slower. Other tracks we were pretty even. And this one, I think the BMW just turns a little better. And at other tracks, they really struggle because they're so loose. And I think with this track, it felt tight for me. I loosened this setup as much as I could, and it was still tight. So it could be driving style too. So I don't want to take away from the Travis and Mike's skill level, but it was a little frustrating. And I knew it was kind of that way all week. I was hoping for a top 5 in both heats. So this by far exceeded my expectations. I was just like, get top 5. That's about the car that I had tonight. And I think with the points, with Travis out down there, I think I might leapfrog him, but I don't think that's gonna hold. I don't think that's gonna hold for the rest of the season. I think Travis is gonna get me.
Well, getting good point finishes in either sprint, let alone both sprints, I think is going to be the goal this season. You managed to get good points in both of these races. I think that's going a long way to a good conclusion at the end of the season. We're just now hitting the halfway point, but nothing's decided because people like Bennett, who are down the order because they didn't make the first round, are going to have a say in how this race season goes on.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So anyway, I know you guys got a lot to do. I appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to be up here a whole lot this season, so I appreciate you guys pulling me in for the interview. But I'll just do my quick shout outs real quick. So thanks to DTD, thanks for XMS for the awesome league. I always say it's a providing this nice place to play. Shout out to Kevin Ford. I know he's not doing the greatest, so hopefully he's doing better. I'd love to hear his voice again. And then Invictus for sponsoring us, and of course Ricmotech for the whole series, and kind of a pseudo sponsor. We'll shout out for the Hymo setups. So, and thank you guys, Apex Racing TV, for the broadcast. Can't wait to watch this one.
Well, thanks to you for giving us the term Bobby's Corner. We got to use it several times tonight, and unfortunately for Bobby, his night ended on that corner both times.
At Bobby's Corner.
Yes.
I haven't talked to him much, so I didn't realize it was both times.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy, but it's Bobby. He'll continue on. All right, so thanks, Eric.
Thank you so much.
DTD Sim Racing's Eric Violet.
All right, Larry.
Bennett joining us here, as we may have just lost some video feed, but we're still on for audio. Brian, great second race tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch, and then when you got that lead, you just pulled away. Well, let's go back for a moment. If you can remember having completely suppressed the memories of the first race, a lot of chaos that first race, some contacts, some other stuff. What was it about that first race? What was going on that just sort of seemed to all fall apart?
Well, I got here late today. Me and the wife had a golf tournament, and I didn't get in much warm up, and I was a little bit rusty, and I could never execute turn 5 properly all night. It scared the hell out of me half the night. The spin with Leo Dragota, that was kind of weak in a way. He went around. It's iRacing physics, because I barely tapped him. I was off the throttle when I hit him, and around he goes. And so that was disappointing, and I just a little bit not very accurate tonight with my vehicle placement. So that was that.
Well, you managed, though, you served the drive through the first race. You managed to salvage, you get up into that top 10, which had to make you excited that you end up in the second race, starting up near the front row. A huge opportunity. Great run, though, you had alongside a Corrido, it seemed. You guys were just sort of right there that whole time, and it seemed like some of the best racing we've had.
Yeah, it was, maybe I could have had a better jump, but my teammate there, Jimbo, up in the LMP3, he was talking on Discord when they made the call for the green. So
Damn it,
luckily the
Jimbo.
damn left side of the Jimbo did it. It's his fault. Luckily the whole left side of the line didn't turn into a big damn train wreck because I was a little bit late getting to the throttle.
That's incredible.
Oh,
Didn't know that.
Pfeiffer.
That's great. I almost want to go back and watch that restart.
Yeah, it was
that's pretty good.
still a slight hesitation there getting to the throttle.
Well, you managed to hang on there, had a couple of good runs up that same hill alongside of Credo a bunch, and you finally made that move to take that lead there, and you just sort of didn't look back. Really kind of ran away with it at the end. Were you just watching? Were you even bothering to watch the relative at that point, or just hitting your marks?
I was watching it, and once I got out to like 7/10 or whatever, I knew I was clear of the draft, and I was eventually I started hitting turn 5 a little bit better, and even turn 3 at the top of the hill. That one a little bit risky, but if I go through it in 4th gear, it's way faster than 3rd. And I hadn't been doing it all night. I started doing it at the end of during the 2nd race there, but I was just I was looking at the gaps, and I think those guys got beat up by traffic a little bit worse than me there in the last 10 or so minutes anyway. So I just kept it clean and tried not to crash. It was pretty tight there though, for sure. A couple times while climbing that hill.
Yeah, well, it's a great run for you, able to get the win in the 2nd round tonight. You salvaged a bunch of good points the 1st round. To go with your performance from Indy a couple weeks ago, you've got a good little momentum going here as we enter the first half of the season. You go to the 2nd half. Are you still going to start looking at the standings and start to do the drop calculations?
Yeah, I suppose. I think I missed the 1st round because I was traveling. But, I don't know. Things are going well. I need to stay out of my own way and just keep on putting in the work, because historically I never thought I was any good at all in the GT4 for whatever reason. Mostly because the guys you race against in officials, some of them are so damn good. They make you feel bad. Anywho, yeah, I'll keep on doing the work and try to be competitive. That's all.
Yeah. Awesome job. And you want to give anybody a shout out or a thanks for helping you tonight?
I would like to thank my mom and dad, because without them, I wouldn't even be here right now.
It's absolutely true for all of us. And no thanks to Jimbo for distracting you on the restart.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congrats, Brian, getting the win here in the 2nd round tonight from Sector 5 Racing. Brian
Thank
Bennett.
you. Yeah, thanks to you guys. Thanks to the broadcasters, the promoters, of course. All right, bye.
Thanks, Brian.
And Larry, imagine if Brian was able to keep his golf clubs in the Porsche like some of our BMW drivers.
They're in the front.
That's right, at the front. Pardon me. All right, let's move on, and let's talk to our GT4 AM winner tonight from Dragon Sport Racing, Lucas Dragotta.
All right, joining us now, Lucas Dragotta gets the win in AM class, both the 1st and 2nd round. And Lucas, you were mixing it up at the front of the field with all of them tonight. You had some tremendous pace here, keeping up with these guys. You gotta think you're gonna make the jump to pro here pretty soon.
Yeah, gotta be fun to battle the guys up in pro, Leo's teammates, my brother. Start competing for points with them.
Yeah, well, you had quite the run going, especially in that 2nd race. You battled with Travis, you battled with Mike Dam, and then of course you had Leo right there behind you there as the last couple laps were coming down. Were you just for pride making sure you stay ahead of your ex-teammate by the end of the race?
Yeah, my pace started to fall off a little bit at the end. So just kind of had to keep the car on the track. And yeah.
Well, a heck of a run tonight. Again, solidifying what was already a points lead. This is only going to help your cause. You start looking at the rivals in AM to see where they're at, or you just want to focus on trying to win races?
Well, I haven't looked at the points like the whole season. Kind of forget about that. But yeah.
It's a smart man. Don't even look behind you. You just look at what's in front of you. Try to take down those guys. So, well, awesome job tonight. A great run here as we finish up the 1st half of this season. You're going to have a pretty good points lead if you do decide to look at them. But you managed to collect, I think it's going to end up being a pretty high points roll tonight. But awesome job there. But I'm sure you got some folks, Dragon Sport Racing, you want to thank?
Yeah, my brother, he pays for setups. My whole family supporting me.
Does your brother get more allowance than you do? Is that why he pays for the setups, Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
You guys for the awesome broadcast. Everybody here making the racing fun and exciting. Yeah.
Well, awesome job. You're a lot of fun to watch, and you keep the race exciting for us as viewers and commentators. So we appreciate that. Great job tonight from Dragon Sport Racing. Lucas Dragotta, congrats.
All right, Larry, let's move over now to our LMP3 winner this evening.
You could ask him about his allowance too.
Yeah, I might have to. Actually, I should ask Brian Bennett when he was talking about his golf tournament. Anyway, let's bring in from Aerokinetics your race winner tonight at LMP3, Tyler King.
All right, joining us here is Tyler King, now the winner of both rounds here tonight in LP3. And Tyler, you had a pretty good run, but that first race got a little crazy at the start. It just seemed to be hectic. Was that just a cold tire thing, or is everyone just sort of a little bit crazy with the cold hours and the cold pavement?
Yeah, it was a little bit of just getting a bad start on those cold tires and couldn't really get into a rhythm first couple laps there, so I fell back to third and was just trying to ride. I was having flashbacks to the officials here just last week in the iRacing series, and too many crashes out of turn 6. So I'm just going to make sure I survive this race. And chaos out of the corner that scared everybody. Luckily, I was able to pick the right side and sneak past that. That was pretty close to taking all 3 of the front runners out there, but able to survive and just bring it home nice and easy there. A lot of warm up this week for Petit Le Mans iRacing here this weekend.
I'm sure that it has to help if you're trying to run both of these tracks. Did you run in Petit Le Mans? Do you run the LMP3 or do you use a different car?
No, I'll be using GT3 personally in the Corvette.
Okay.
Representing Aerokinetics Blue.
Very nice. So good luck on that. But awesome job here tonight, because once in the second race, once you did take the lead pretty much in the first lap or so, you just sort of walked away. Were you just putting in a cruise? Because I did happen to notice you did turn fastest lap of the race on the final lap.
Yeah, just running a little bit, just trying to make sure I finished to the end, and the last lap felt in my rhythm enough. Like, all right, let's push it and see what we can do here, just to see what we can get.
Yeah,
so just want to throw away a good finish.
Yeah, that was a solid way to end a pretty good night for you here. So great job there, but I'm sure you got some folks you want to thank for helping you get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Aerokinetics for the setup and help this week getting warmed up. Shout out to the viewers, everybody who's watching at home. Thanks to you guys at Apex Racing TV for the broadcast every week. Really great performance you guys do. And we'll be back in 2 weeks here at Magna Cours.
Yes, definitely looking forward to Magna Core. I don't think we've run there much, if at all, in the Ricmotech Monday night. So looking forward to that.
I think we did. I think we did World Challenge once, right after it debuted on the platform.
First time for the Sportscar series, and the LMP3s will be a fun one as well. So congrats tonight, Tyler, and we're looking forward to seeing you in about 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go from Aerokinetics. Your LMP3 winner tonight, Tyler King. All right, Larry, so let's wrap things up, and Tyler, let things out of the bag just a little bit, because I wanted to let everybody know what's coming up on the different Ricmotech series. Well, next Monday night, we're going to be back here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, for round number 4 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, when we've got our GTP, LMP2, and GT3 racers racing to the checkered flag in another 75-minute outing. And then in 2 weeks, the miniMite Sportscar Challenge going to be at Magna Core for round number 5. Again, double races, 2 35-minute events for our LMP3 and GT4 racers. And then in 3 weeks, we will be at Silverstone for round number 5 of the World Challenge. And of course, don't forget, the Touring Car Cup will be back in January for our MX-5 Cup and GR86 Cup racers. All right, so for Larry Lefty McLeod, for Jonathan Grabowski, I'm Greg Ginsburg, and we'll see you next Monday night at 8:10.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.